Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and to all the fans of 𝐸𝐴LAN, welcome to Every Friday with 𝐸𝐴LAN Tip. Magic begins to raise the standard. So today's topic is the interesting thing. Can we split the terminal connection to different pages or places? What exactly I'm trying to say is if I have a terminal and if I have a different connections A, B, C, D. So is it possible to have the connections in different pages? Okay. So can we do it in 𝐸𝐴LAN? And if we are doing it, what exactly we try to call this one? That also we'll try to understand. And definitely this is an interesting topic. So for that, we generally call it as distributed terminals. So that's very interesting one that normally we call it as a distributed terminals. So we'll try to understand what is the concept of distributed terminals, how it will be shown, okay, what all the things we should be aware about it, and how exactly that working we have to do for that, and is there any way that if we are doing it, can we optimize that? So that also we will explore. All of them we will see one by one once we switch to 𝐸𝐴LAN. So before we go to 𝐸𝐴LAN, I just want to understand if you want to do the above thing, what all the things you should be aware about it. First, you should know in the settings, is there any option when I take any terminal, can it be considered for this limited of connection automatically as a distributed? So let us first understand what is distributed, so that then we can see in the settings, do we have that options or not. Second, whenever we talk about terminals, definitely Navigator should be there. Without navigators doing anything, will be not easily able to understand. That's why the navigators are the one which is very important for us. Third, so in the terminal, do we have any option called distributed? So when I click a distributed, what exactly that will make me to see it in the navigator? So that also we'll try to see it. So how do we, by seeing that in the terminal navigator, is it possible that I can say this is a terminal, this is a distributed terminal? So that differences, is it possible to find out? Last but not the least, so how do we optimize the distributed terminals? And the word optimize is something interesting. We will try to explore once we switch to 𝐸𝐴LAN. So what we do, we will just jump to 𝐸𝐴LAN. We are in 𝐸𝐴LAN. Already you have a PLC. So first, let us see that we're going with a simple terminal and we'll try to understand what is the terminology and all those things. Then we'll come back. So let me just jump. I can take any one of the terminal here. So let me take that 4 connections one just to show you. Yeah, this is the 4 connection. So when I drag this particular connection, I am just connecting this one. So once I click on this particular one, you can see that you will get a terminal called 1 in this fashion. So whenever you want to see it, what is happening, what is not happening, this is much better when you have it in the navigator. So first thing is, once you open a page, automatically these 3 will be highlighted here, so that you can easily see it. If it is highlighted for us, this is very important. View. If you go to view on the left side and click on this terminal strip, navigator. So this is a window which is an interesting window which is very much required for us. So as I say, right click, synchronize. Now you can see that this is a terminal. So normally this we normally call it as a terminal. So which one we call it as a distributed terminal? So let us go inside. We'll see what is a distributed. You can see that anything if you tick on this particular one, then that is called distributed. So once I click it on that, you can just check how it shows. See, you can see automatically it becomes a half. Wherever, in whichever navigator, when you are working on that project, remember this is the representation of distributed. Okay, this is very important. So this is the one normally we call it as a distributed. So what are the things you should be aware? The first one, this is a DT. Okay, I think you might be aware whether you give it X1, X01, XD1, whatever you want to give it. Second, this is a terminal number. Okay, so this is a number. And the most important is this one, the connection point. So if it has a 4 connections, then it will have A, B, C, D or 1, 2, 3, 4. So whatever you have given it, depending on the number of connections, this particular one plays a major role for us. So this is where we are asking to have that same terminal, but the connections we are going to show it in different places. That green color is the one which is playing a major role for us. Okay, so for this, when we want to work on a distributed terminal, I would say that always it's good to go with that particular part number. I'll show you. Start with that experiment. You will understand what exactly that works. So before that, let me just go to that settings. I might have experimented something. Yeah, right now I'll keep it never, but I'll come back to this and I'll explain you what is exactly this part. Okay. Now what I do it is I'll go to home. I already made as a favorite and I'm taking this terminal. So when you want to explore it, I suggest you that please go with this part number. So you will understand a little bit on that distributed terminal how that particular thing will work for you. 3209578. So it's a Phoenix one. 3209578. So when I drag this particular part number and when I place in this place, okay, and after that when I say right click synchronize, do you see any distributed? No, it is not having a distributed. If I want to make it as a distributed, then I have to go inside and I tick it. Is it possible when I drag any device with the part number? How do I know it has a part number? When I double click, if I go to that part, see, or if it shows this triangle, yeah, it is saying with respect to function template. So I have this particular part number. In the same setting, a few minutes before I went to that same place. So what I do, I'll go to file, I'll go to settings. We have a settings where exactly we have it. It is there in the project, which project you are working, devices, terminal distributed. We have an option here. You can say that any connections equal to that or more than that should be considered as a distributed terminal. It is possible to do it. So in your project, if you feel that no, any terminal, if it is 4 and above, it should be considered as a distributed. Means if you set this particular one, so what exactly this will happen is when I drag this particular one and if I try to place it, this will be considered as a distributed. How do I know? See, automatically it got split. This is the beauty of that Eplan. So I can also set what should be the distributed of terminal there. So you saw that. See, automatically it got. But now the interesting point is where that, see, when I press U, you can see the A is pointing up so that it will not show any connection because in the A you can see there is no connection. See, target internal nothing, target external nothing. Now if I just modify, if I bring that A in this side, how? By going to symbol and function data and I'll select variant C. So after that I'll say click OK. Now you see the A is pointing towards this. Now if I go to edit, you can see that automatically it will say that this particular device of this connection, it is getting connected. See, that is a one which will try to show it in this fashion. Similarly, if I need more connections to happen as I drag it, so you can see that I can just place a one more here, automatically on that, see again it will go. Here also still it will not show because B is pointing on the other side. Or if on the top you will place something else, like if I go to symbol, if I go to IC symbol, in that I'll go to sensor switch, I'll just pull some switch. If I try to place this particular one, okay, so now I have one connection on the top, that is B. You need one more at the bottom also. So if I go to this place, you will see only switch is coming, but you are not getting that placing to PLC. So how do you do? So we have various methods, but right now I'll show the present method. If you go to terminal and if you see that if you after B control enter, if you put C there, automatically it will consider C will be available. Then you are left with D. As you drag and if you want to place any terminal here, then you will have a D in this fashion. But again, what is that? The D is supposed to be shown on this side. So whether I have to do all these things in this fashion or is there any easiest way? So even if I put it, will it be able to recognize and can it be able to do it? See that I'll take a same example just to explain you this. So now what I do it is I'll just drag this particular block here. Okay. So I will say click OK. Now what I do it is I'll go to that same particular part number favorite. I'll drag this. So I'm just placing this one. So now it says A, correct, right? You are able to see that this is a A. Now what I do it is I will just have one more switch here. Okay. I will try to drag and one more will be somewhere here, B. Okay. But you can see there are two connections over there. So is it possible? Can it become A, B and C? Because if you can see it. So if I go to that edit terminals, you can see that it shows only this switch connection, but PLC connection is not happening there. So what I can do it is you can select the one which you want to do it. And if you go to device, in that if you click on this optimize distributed terminal or something, you click on this and the same part number, the one which I am looking at. So I'll say click OK. Now you see that automatically it shows A, B, C, D. Done. See, automatically it will do it this part. But last minute you recognized and you thought that, okay, here I don't need any connection. I'm just deleting something. Okay. Now what I do it. So if I select this and I have to do just this one, optimize. So this is a shortcut. If I just click it, so you will be able to see it. See, A, B, C. So it is done. So even while placing it, if I forgot or if the terminal the way I want to place it is not placing it. So I can place it. Later what I have to do, I have to just select it. If I go to the extras, click on this, it will do it by itself. See, automatically it can be done in this fashion. See how beautifully it will be able to do it. Yeah, this is interesting. Which part you are getting it, and here also you are showing that how to optimize, and all those things are all coming. And one more thing is that also here, like for example, okay, so this is for with the part. So I want to show you that if we go with a symbol, how it happens. So let me just go with here. So I will go to symbol. I will take some other symbol. I'll take a two connection symbol. So I want to play with that. So I'll just take one symbol here. So it says that it is having is X1. Very good. And after that, I'll just pull some same switches so that you can see that what connection it is happening over there. So click OK. So now what I do it is I'll select this and I will drag it and I want to place it 6 times maybe. Hope it will take all these numbers. Yeah, but the point what you have to remember is now these terminals are all considered as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the way you place a terminal, it also plays a major role there. So sometimes if you have placed this first and then second, it all depends on that. So first, make sure that if you have any sorting, make sure that all comes like 1, 2, 3, 4, delete sorting part. And second, I would suggest that in this, you can select all those terminals, whichever you want to play with that. So go to properties. So in this, I want all the terminals to be considered. First, you have to do it as distributed. If you don't do distributed, what happens is it will not be considered distributed. Okay, this is very important. So now we are considering this as a distributed. Very good. We did distributed. And most important is the numbers. When you say 1, 2, 3 means it will play with respect to this one only. But in my case, what happens is as the connections are available, automatically it should decide one in that A, B, C, D or something like that. If you're not sure that. So everything I'll make it as 1 now. So I'll select it and I made it as distributed and I'll say click OK. Now everything is 1 now. Let's see what happens now. And if I go inside, you see that you don't have any part numbers. Do you see any part number? No. Perfect. So now I'll select this. If I go to device, extras, and I'll click on optimize distributed terminal. So I'm going with the same part number, the one which I showed you earlier, the 4 connections one. You can see that 320957881. Okay. So after that, I'll say, so you have an options here also. You can play with that if you want to keep it. But right now I don't want. It should automatically tell me this based on the connections. So I'll say click OK. Then you can see that it's automatically coming in this fashion. See, A, B, C, D, 1, 1, beautiful. See, 2, A, B, C, D. So you have 3, 4. So after that I have not taken any terminal. That's why it is free. So as I drag it, then automatically that particular thing will be start working for you. Correct, right? So now for example, I'll delete these 2 switches just to explain you that part. So now the biggest challenge in Eplan, what happens is this number plays a major role. So even if I select it and if I say that, okay, optimize. Okay. When I say click OK, now you see that it is recognizing that, but the number as it changes, it will take it as a 2. That's why I'm saying that number also plays a major role there, keeping that terminal designation. So A, B, then C, because the top connection is not there, it automatically becomes C, A, B, C, D. But in this case, if I try with that option, the one which I was talking about. So let me just go to properties. Okay. So I will say this as 1. Everything I'm keeping it 1. Means my idea is A, B is this. C, D should come. After that, it has to take 2 and then that has to continue with that particular number. Is it possible to do it that? So now I made everything as 1. I have taken a selection and after that I'll say distributed. And then what I do it is I'll say click OK. Now you see that the way you wanted, it can be done. But most important is the placement if you are looking at. Or you are placing terminal in different place. Don't need to do that renumber, select 1. No. If you want it in the order. So if you are looking for this in the order, then the method what I was trying to do it, that I am explaining you. But if you are putting this terminal in different place, by itself it has to detect. Yes, easily you can select it and you say, what do you say, that optimize, and automatically based on that it will automatically able to give you those informations and all those things. You will be able to get it in this fashion. So 2, 3, all those things you will be getting it in that fashion. You will be having it for 𝐲𝐵LAN there. Okay, so this is a very interesting one, what you will be able to see it in 𝐲𝐵LAN part of it. So as I said earlier also, that is also possible, or if you place the terminal and you want to have it, so that connection is what it will be very useful for you. Okay, so as I said earlier also, so when you make any switch connection here, okay, and if you are dragging your part number, so as you remember in that, if you go to favorite, as you drag this particular part number, normally it will show only one connection. Because I have made it as 4, you can see that automatically it will say A, B. Then when I drag it and if I make a connection here, so yeah, because it is coming next to each other, or if you don't want that connection to happen, yeah, you can take a different symbol, not a problem. Yeah. So once I have these connections, because it has to show properly, but if you see it, the connections, B is on the top and all those things. What is the easiest option? Select it. I'll go to extras, optimize. And if you say the keep terminal designation, that also existing, you can say terminal designation is nothing but terminal number. Okay, our terminal number, you can just have it. So after that, when I say click OK, now you see that automatically it becomes A, B, C, D. You would have placed in a different pages, still that will work for you. So that is a beauty. So if you want in this fashion also, you are able to achieve that particular part. So this is what I was trying to explain you. Or if you have any symbols also, the way you saw earlier, so I just went into any one of the symbol there. So I just pulled one terminal here. So I just placing it. Okay. So I'll say click OK. Then after that, I'm just dragging these things and I'm said that I made a duplicate. After that, I selected this as 5 or 6 or whatever. And after that, I said number. So once you get it, right click synchronize. So I was just making sure that delete sorting is according to that continuous terminal selection should happen for that reason. And the most important, what I said it is, you have to go to properties. You have to say distributed. Then you can make a designation 1. Let it happen by itself if you want to have it. Or if you are maintaining designation, only the letters it has to take. Yeah, that also possible. That is what I was trying to show. All different methods can be explored. So once you have it, all these things, now you say that let it optimize, let it put the terminals, let it make the main function, everything it can take care. So I'll say click OK. Now you see that automatically you can see that. See, based on the connections, this cart, it is helping you there. So this is A, this is AB, this is CD, this is 2AB, CD, like that you will be able to create it. Okay. Sometimes you will come across the challenge. I will not say that it will not be there, but this is another option which is the easiest option, which will also help you in doing these things. Means one terminal breaking into multiple pieces, and this can be achieved. So this is what normally we call it as a distributed terminal. And optimize is also another powerful one, which you saw that if the connection is not happening, it itself will recognize and it will change that connection to happen. So at least that is very powerful. If you ask me, this you should definitely use it. So that is where I want to tell you. So that particular connection is something is very important for you to have an idea on those lines. So don't miss those things. So please utilize them. So in future, I'll try to show you the report part also when I come across. But this is what I want to try to explain you on the distributed terminal. So hope you got a fair understanding. I'll not say everything you understood. And yeah, some challenges you may come across. But as I said, if it is from the part, definitely it is much easier for you to tackle it. So that is what I was trying to say. So if you go to the tags, if you want, favorites, this is the one. So whenever you want to drag it or anything you want to place it, you can select it. And based on the selection, when you have it, then automatically this can take care. So if I have a switch there, I think I had already shown you, but yeah, quickly I'll just have it. So that this particular one, you should not forget it. So I'll say right click, synchronize. Now this is showing 1B, but there are 3 connections. The connections are not properly done and A is showing on the top. Simple, select, go to extras, optimize, click on this button. See, automatically A become here, BC. Beautiful. This is what number, same. So at least this should be possible for you to do it with help of a distributed terminal. So beautiful. And you can also play with this also is a real interesting one. Sometimes you may come across little challenge, but I would say that try first, make a terminal, place it, order it, sort it. Then I need a continuous numbers. Then you play with this particular information. Okay. So thank you. So you explore more on this particular one, and this distributed terminal is a very interesting topic. Yeah. So hope you got a fair understanding and you try to explore it. And you may get some doubt sometimes, and if you come across, yeah, always global support is there to help you. So last time, as I showed you, net-based wiring, when I come across that problem, I also found that, okay, by putting maximum number of connections 2, it was able to solve on those lines. So this is an interesting one. Yeah. So before I could say goodbye, so I love to say that please like to load more contents, please comment to get quality output, please share to reach the maximum users, and don't forget to subscribe. And my name is Vishnuvardhan Reddy. So Jai Hind, have a nice day.